Yeah, hello. Here I am again. Slightly different setting this time. Just thought I'm gonna change the way. Just driving home and using the time driving to film a new little video. I have to tell you that I'm sad. I'm sad because of different things, but mainly because there's a problem that I've been aware already quite a long time, and actually the last time when I was in the States was just a couple of months before Trump was elected, and that I was talking to quite a lot of people about the elections, and whatever the choice was in the last couple of weeks and days, I have noticed that he's not the right person for the job. And the main thing is, whatever his view, the main thing is that he doesn't have the ability of bringing the people together. And that's what a president should do. Whatever the color is, if red, green, blue, or black with yellow or pink dots, I couldn't care less, but a president has to bring the people together. And he just is unfit to do so. He's only thinking about the elections, he's only thinking about being re-elected and getting his people in, and that's a bad choice. George Floyd, he was killed. He was killed. And the consequences of the killing, they have to be there, they have to be used against every person killing another person. And if it is a police officer, if it is an army general or whatever, if it is killing, then there has to be a sentence, and everybody has to be the same in front of the law. And that's not the case in many countries, and it's less the case when you have a lot of money and when you can buy your way through law or courts, if it is either by bribing or by paying off witnesses or people above, or because you have a buddy in politics who will get you out because of COVID-19 or whatever, for whatever reason. So I've always been very much hurt when I was touched by racism. I hate it. I was brought up, my father and my mother, my grandparents, they were all very much open-minded, and they respected every single person, if they were rich, wealthy, or not. They couldn't care less. It was the person that counted. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Everybody has a right to live. Everybody should have a right for a job. And there are some countries where it is more difficult. So when I arrived in France a couple of years ago, I was told when I was registering myself, il n'y a pas d'Arabes, there are no Arabs. And I thought that was shocking. At that stage, they didn't know my wife. She could have been an Arab, she could have been Muslim, but she was not, or she is not. And I just thought that the French, they have a problem with Arabs, and they do, they still do. And the same thing could happen in France with an Arab boy or man. And the consequences, the riots, probably could be similar to the States. And nowadays everybody has to be aware. Not to say that you should do it when there is no camera around, But thank God there are cameras around. Thank God it's being filmed. And thank God the media and Twitter or Facebook, they play it again and again so that you know that people are being killed. And I can't breathe. I can't breathe. When someone is telling you that, and the officer he knew, because one knows when you have a little bit of education that when you close one side, that the other one will be blocked as well within a couple minutes or a couple seconds after the 9 or 10 minutes and the person be dead. I think it's terrible. It is terrible. There's one thing that I saw a couple years ago, was a picture on Facebook, and you saw 2 eggs, a white egg and a brown egg, and the eggs, they were opened, and you saw that the inside is just the same, About a good year ago in France, there was a refugee. I think he was from Mali. He helped. He basically climbed up balconies to save a boy who was on the balcony and it could have fallen down. He went up. He climbed up over the facade of the building, saving that little boy. And that's another picture that one should have in one's head, that whoever you are, you will be saved by a refugee. You will be saved by a black person. You will be saved by a Muslim. Is that worth more or less? That is life. And one should respect other people's lives, if they're saving you or not. Everybody has a right to live. Everybody has a right to be respected. And it just puts a very bad image on other police officers trying to do a good job, because the first thought is, will he kill you? When I went to the States about 4 years ago, I thought, and I did think that fortunately I am not black, because I knew already then that I would have problems traveling around being black. But now I'm sorry that I am not black, because I just think that everybody should be black, everybody should be white, so that you wouldn't have those kind of racism coming up that just sickens me incredibly. It's just one thing that I do not understand. The way I was brought up helped, definitely, but how can one hate a nation? And then a very simple thing, that genetically we're all coming from Africa. We were all black. We were all black. So we are all George Floyd. And when you are a fire-trucking racist, that's what I call it, not to say the F word, because it starts with an F and it stops with an uck, then you just get a DNA test done, and you will know that even in your DNA there is Jewish DNA, there is African DNA, there is DNA definitely from Africa, And if one has a little bit of intelligence and knowledge, information about where we all came from, then it's a logical thing that you know that we were black. And just because some people moved to the north, that then, because it was colder, the shape of the nose changed, because there was less sun, the color of the skin changed, and then you just notice how stupid you are. There was a test done on, I think it was BBC. They had invited different people from different backgrounds, and they did DNA test, and they were asking the people, so what don't you like? And it was an English guy, and he said, I really don't like Germans. I don't know why, but I don't like Germans. And there was a guy from, an Arab from Israel and a Jew from Israel, and they were tested, or with origins from Israel, and they were tested as well. So in the end of the day, when the result came out, they were asking them, and what do you think? And the English guy who didn't like the Germans, they found out that he had, I think, 40-50% plus German blood, German DNA in him. And then the guy talking to all those people said, yeah, and one actually has a cousin in all this group of people. And then he said, you, Arab from originally Israel, and you Arab from, Jew from Israel, you are actually cousins. So they were very closely related to each other. And then you start rethinking, and you should always think, and you should never listen to racist calls, or even when politicians are talking just to get elections. It sickens me. Just try to respect everybody. And just have a peaceful life, respecting the people. And it is terrible what's going on now in the States. It is terrible that the president even puts gasoline on fire, or whatever the expression is. That's not the way it should be. That's not the way a president should be. One should respect people. He doesn't respect people. He's just a bully who wants to be elected, who wants to be the best, who wants to be the brightest, who wants to be... But he ain't. He's just a bully who doesn't respect anyone, who couldn't care less about his allies, about his friends, about his voters, because in the end of the day he doesn't care. He thinks that they are stupid, that they are voting for him because he plays the big guy, but he ain't. I'm sorry, he ain't a president, because a president respects everybody. So, sorry that I was going on a little bit, but I had to get this off my chest. Comments are welcome. Even if a person has a different idea. There was a sentence that was said, I will fight with my life the right for your opinion, even if I do not have your opinion. But one has to respect other people. That's a priority. So, stay safe, God bless, and see you.